Good morning, all of you. Today we'll start the speed control of DC motor. Before going to that, we are in the age of the world where energy plays a very important role. Since we have some abundant sources of energy, but we cannot use them directly due to some economical and geographical problem. So it is very necessary to convert the available energy to fulfill our requirements. So DC motors plays an important role in energy conversion process. It is a machine, already we know that, which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. In mechanical system, speed varies with the number of tasks. So speed control is necessary to do mechanical work in a proper way or correct way, and it makes motor to operate easily. Shunt motor is a special type of DC motor which runs at a constant speed, but by using field and armature rheostat control methods, we can make it more versatile. And we know we'll go further that field rheostat provides above normal speed, and armature rheostat provides a wide range of below normal speeds. So applying both methods, we can obtain wide range of speed for different applications. The main problem with the method is a bulky rheostat is required across the armature. So DC motors generally consist of rotor mounted windings, armature and stator windings, field poles. In all DC motors except permanent magnet brushless motors, current must be conducted to the armature windings, so that by passing current through carbon brushes that slide over a set of copper surface called a commutator, which is mounted on the rotor. And again I'll go to the commutator bars are soldered to armature coils. The brush or commutator combination makes a sliding switch that energizes particular portions of the armature based on the position of the rotor. And this process creates, as you know, north and south magnetic poles on the rotor that are attracted to or repelled by north and south poles on the stator, and which are formed by passing direct current through the field windings. And the magnetic attraction and repulsion that causes the rotor to rotate. And the dynamic behavior of DC machine is mainly determined by the type of the connection, that is between the excitation winding and the armature winding. It also includes the commutation and compensation windings also. And the great advantage of DC motor is the speed control, since speed is directly proportional to armature voltage and inversely proportional to the magnetic flux produced by the poles. And by adjusting the armature voltage or the field current, will change the rotor speed. And now I'll go to speed of a DC motor. We have speed control methods of DC motor, speed control methods for DC shunt motor, speed control methods of series motor we will see. Next one, speed of a DC motor. Already we know the back EMF expression for DC motor is equal to 5Zn by 60 into P by A, and the induced EMF is due to rotation of the armature in magnetic field. The value of EB can be given by the equation expression. We know EB equal to 5Zn by 60 into P by A, where we know that P number of poles, 5 flux per pole, N speed in RPM, Z is number of armature conductors, A is the parallel paths. And now we also know that EB can also be written as EB equal to V minus IARA. And from this above equation we can rewrite the expression for N as EB 60A by P5Z. So in this one, if we go for constant terms, A, P and Z are constant terms. So now n is directly proportional to this EB and phi, so that we can write this expression n is directly proportional to k EB by phi, where k is constant, that is all those constant terms, that is k is equal to 60A by P z. And finally n is directly proportional to EB by phi, and we can, from this expression we can justify that the speed is directly proportional to back EMF and inversely proportional to the flux per pole. So speed is directly proportional to the back EMF and inversely proportional to the flux per pole. This is the main expression, that is how the speed, what are the variables that depends upon speed. So we can get them from this expression. So we have different speed control methods of DC motor. If you take a shunt motor, we have flux control method, armature control method, and voltage control method, whereas in case of series motor we have flux control method, variable resistance in series with armature, and series parallel control methods. These are the various control methods of DC motor. Already we know that the main advantage of DC motors is speed control, and speed is directly proportional to the armature voltage and inversely proportional to the magnetic flux produced by the poles, and by adjusting the armature voltage or the field current will change the rotor speed. That is speed control means change of a speed to a value required for the performing some specific work. This adjustment should not taken to include the natural change in speed, that is which occurs due to change in the load on the drive shaft. The electrical speed control has many economical as well as engineering advantages over mechanical speed control. There are many methods we know the controlling the speed of a DC shunt motor, but field rheostat control method is more reliable, economic, and independent of load on the motor. Okay, so this is about how the speed control is achieved. That is already we came to know the expressions for that is the factors, that is the variables which are depending upon the speed, EB and phi, both they depend upon the speed. Okay, now let us see the speed control methods. We have shunt motor flux control method, armature control method, voltage control method, and coming to series motor, that is flux control method, variable resistance in series with armature control method, and series parallel control method. Now let us move to the speed control of shunt motor. Speed control of shunt motor. Observe the diagram. Speed of the motor is inversely proportional to the flux. That is, by decreasing the flux, speed can be increased because it is inversely proportional. So that speed control of DC shunt motor, that is flux control method. So to control the flux, what we are doing here, a rheostat is added in series with the field winding. It is connected in series with the field winding. Adding more resistance in series with field winding will increase the speed, and it will decrease the flux. Okay, field current is generally small, and hence I square R losses is small. And so this method is it is efficient method, though the speed can be increased by reducing flux. With this method, it puts a limit to maximum speed, as the weakening of flux beyond the limit will adversely affect the commutation. So in this flux control method, what we are doing is we are simply increasing the speed, that is by adding some extra resistance in series, some, that is a rheostat is added in series with the field winding, that is adding more resistance in series with the field winding. An increase in variable resistance reduces the field current with a reduction in flux and increase in speed. And the method of speed control is independent of the that is load on the motor. So, and power wasted in controlling resistance is very less, as field current is a small value. And next one, coming to this one, basically the speed is inversely proportional to flux, that is by decreasing the flux, speed can be increased, and vice versa. That is the speed control of DC shunt motor is controlled through a field rheostat method. And what are the disadvantages with the method is creeping speeds cannot be obtained, and top speeds only obtained at reduced torque, and the speed is maximum at a minimum value of flux, and it is governed by the demagnetizing effect of armature reaction on the field. These are the disadvantages of that is flux control method. That is creeping speeds cannot be obtained, and top speeds only higher speeds only we can get, and we get at reduced torque, that is, and the speed is maximum at a minimum value of flux, and which is governed by the and it is controlled by demagnetizing effect of this armature reaction on the field. Next one, it is armature control method, speed control of shunt motor by armature control method. So armature control method is we know speed of the motor is directly proportional to back EMF, and we know the formula for back EMF EB equal to V minus IaRa. That is when the supply voltage V and armature resistance Ra are kept constant, the speed is directly proportional to armature current Ia. So if we add some resistance in series with the Ia decreases, and hence speed decreases, and greater the resistance in series with the armature, the greater the decrease in speed. So in the armature resistance, that is in the armature circuit, we are incorporating some extra resistance, and we know that speed is directly proportional to armature current Ia. So if we add resistance in series with the armature Ia decreases, and hence speed decreases. Okay, and next one, what are the advantages with that is armature controlled DC shunt motor is very fine speed control over a wide range we can get in both the directions. Second one is uniform acceleration is obtained, and next one, good speed regulation also we can get, and it has a regenerative braking capacity also. So these are the advantages, like uniform acceleration and good speed regulation, and regenerative braking capacity also there, and very fine speed control over the whole range in both the directions we get. And coming to disadvantages, and this method is for this method costly arrangement is needed, floor space is required, and it has light efficient, that is low efficiency at light loads, and drive produces more noise. So this is about armature control method. These are the advantages and disadvantages of armature control method. Next one, voltage control method. Voltage control method, first one is multiple voltage control. In this one, observe the diagram. We have two methods, multiple voltage control, second one Ward-Leonard system. Okay, so Ward-Leonard system also here. So in this method, the shunt field is connected to a field exciting voltage, and the armature is supplied with the different voltages. Voltage across armature is changed with the help of a suitable switchgear. The speed is approximately proportional to the voltage across the armature. Voltage across the armature. You can see that in the diagram we can observe here we have one more important speed control. It is Ward-Leonard system. This system is used where very sensitive speed control of motor is required. For example, electric excavators, elevators, like that. Um, uh, that is we can observe in this diagram. That is Ward-Leonard method. It was introduced by Henry Ward-Leonard in 1891. Ward-Leonard method of speed control, it is used for controlling the speed of a DC motor. It is a this control system is consisting of DC motor and powered by a AC generator. In this method, the speed of the DC motor M1 is controlled by applying variable voltage across its armature, and this variable voltage is obtained by using a motor generator set, which consists of a motor M2, either AC or DC motor, directly coupled. It is directly coupled with the generator G, and it is a very widely used method of speed control of DC motor. And we can see the basic connection diagram of Ward-Leonard speed control system. And the speed of the motor M1 is to be controlled and which is powered by the generator G, and the shunt field of the motor M1 is connected across the DC supply lines. Next one, the generator G is driven by the motor M2, and the motor that is the speed of the motor M2 is constant. And next one, that is the speed of the motor M1 is to be controlled, which is powered. That is, here we have taken M2 is the motor whose speed control is required. So M2 is to be controlled, which is powered by the generator, and the shunt field of the motor M2 is connected across the DC supply lines. Now the generator G is driven by the motor M1, and the speed of the motor M1 is constant here. And when the output voltage of the generator is fed to the motor, then the motor starts to rotate, and when the output voltage of the generator varies, then the speed of the motor also varies. Next one, now controlling the output voltage of the generator, the speed of motor can also be controlled, and for this purpose of controlling the output voltage, a field regulator is also connected across the generator with the DC supply lines to control the field excitation. And the next one, coming to the direction of rotation of the motor, can be reversed by excitation current of the generator, and it can be done with the help of a reversing switch. That and one more thing here we have to remember is the motor generator set must run in the same direction. Okay, this is about Ward-Leonard method. That is, generally in this method is used for controlling the speed of a motor, and it consists of a DC motor and powered by a DC generator. In this method, the speed of the DC motor M2 is controlled by applying voltage, variable voltage across its armature, and this variable voltage is obtained using a motor generator set, which consists of a motor directly coupled with the generator, and it is very widely used method. And next one, the speed of motor, that is M2, is to be controlled, which is powered by the generator, and the shunt field of the motor is connected across the DC, and now the generator is driven by the motor M2, and the generator G is driven by the motor M1. The speed of the motor is constant now, and when the output voltage of the generator is fed to the motor M1, then the motor starts to rotate, and when the output voltage of the generator varies, then the speed of the motor also varies. Okay, next one, how we will control the output voltage is the controlling of controlling the output voltage of the generator. The speed of motor can also be controlled. For this purpose of controlling the output voltage, a field regulator is connected across the generator with the DC supply lines to control the field excitation, and we can also change the direction, that is, the rotation of the motor can be reversed by excitation current of the generator, and it is done with the help of a reversing switch. But remember that the motor generator set must run in the same direction. And next one, what are the advantages with the Ward-Leonard system? It is very smooth. We can get very smooth speed control system over a wide range, that is from 0 to normal speed of the motor, and the speed can be controlled in both the direction of rotation of the motor easily, and the motor can run with a uniform acceleration, and speed regulation of DC motor in this Ward-Leonard system is very good, and we have inherent regenerative braking property we have. So these are some advantages of Ward-Leonard system, that is the speed can be controlled in both the directions of rotation of the motor very easily, and the motor can run with a uniform acceleration, and it is having a very smooth speed control system over a wide range, and inherent regenerative braking property. And next one, speed regulation of DC motor is very good in this Ward-Leonard system. Next one, disadvantages of Ward-Leonard system is the system is very costly because we are using extra machines, two extra machines, motor generator sets are required, and overall efficiency of the system is very low, that is especially if it is lightly loaded, and a large size and weight because of the extra machines requires more floor area. Next one is frequent maintenance is required, and this drive produces more noise also. These are the disadvantages. That is, overall efficiency of the system is not sufficient, especially if it is lightly loaded, and the system is very costly because it is having more machines and large size and weight, and drive produces more noise and frequent maintenance is required. And where we use the coming to applications of Ward-Leonard system, this Ward-Leonard method of speed control system is used very very wide and very sensitive speed control of DC motor, especially in both the direction of rotation is required. And it is generally we can use this in colliery winders and cranes, electric excavators, mine hoists, elevators, and this steel rolling mills we can use, and paper machines, diesel locomotives, etc. We can go for this Ward-Leonard speed control method. So this is about Ward-Leonard method of speed control. Next one is so the same here also. In this method, the output from the generator G is fed to the armature of the motor M2, whose speed is to be controlled, and the output voltage of the generator G can be varied from 0 to its maximum value. And next one, hence the armature voltage of the motor M2 is varied very smoothly, hence very smooth speed control of motor can be obtained by this method. So this is about Ward-Leonard method. And next one is speed control of series motor. Let us move to speed control of series motor. So in this one we have one is flux control method. So in flux control method, first one is field diverter. So by the name we can say that this method uses a diverter. Here the field flux can be reduced by shunting a portion of motor current around the series field. Lesser the diverter resistance, lesser the field current, less flux, therefore more speed. This method gives speeds above normal, and this method is used in electric drives in which speed rise sharply as soon as load is decreased. And a variable in the diagram we will see the variable resistance is connected parallel to the series field as shown in figure, and this variable resistor is called as diverter, as a desired amount of current can be diverted through its resistor, and hence the current through field coil can be decreased so that the flux can be decreased to desired amount and the speed can be increased. So this is how the field, by means of field diverter, we can control the speed. That is, the field flux is reduced by shunting some portion of motor current around the series field, and if the diverter resistance is lesser the diverter resistance, less is the field current, so that less flux, therefore more speed. And this speed gives a speed above normal, and the method is used in electric drives in which speed should rise sharp as soon as load is decreased. Okay, next method is trapped armature diverter. So one more thing is diverter is connected across the armature for a given constant load torque. If armature current is reduced, then flux must increased, as torque is directly proportional to phi Ia. This will result in increase in current taken from the supply, and so that flux will increase and so that the speed of the motor will decrease. This is armature diverter method. That is, a diverter is connected across the armature now. So for a given constant load torque, if the armature current is reduced, then flux must increase. We know that the torque is directly proportional to phi Ia, and because of increase in current taken from the supply, and so that flux will increase and so that the speed of the motor will decrease. This is armature diverter. First one is field diverter, second one is armature diverter, third one is tapped field control. So tapped field control, this is another method of increasing the speed by reducing the flux, and it is done by lowering the number of turns of field winding through which current flows. And in this method, a number of tappings from field windings are brought outside. This method is employed in electric traction method. That is, this is another way of increasing the speed, that is by reducing the flux. How we will reduce the flux means by lowering the number of turns of field winding through which the current flows. So, and we can observe in the diagram a number of tappings from field windings are brought outside, and we can use it in electric traction also. And the next one, paralleling field coil method. So in this method, several speeds can be obtained by regrouping coils. We are regrouping the coils as shown in the figure. So this is about speed control of series motor, that is by using flux control method, field diverter, armature diverter, tapped field control, and paralleling field control. That is, in the field diverter method, a variable resistance is connected parallel to the series field, and it is called the diverter. The amount of current can be diverted through this resistor, and so that the current through field coil is decreased, so that the flux is decreased and the speed is increased. This is field diverter method. Coming to armature diverter method, it is the diverter is connected across the armature, and if the armature current is reduced, the flux must increase, and so that this will result in increase in current taken from the supply, so that flux will increase, and so that speed of the motor will decrease. Next one, tapped field control. Here in the tapped field control method, we have to reduce the flux, and it is done by lowering the number of turns of field windings through which current flows, so that we are in this method a number of tappings from field winding are brought outside. And next one, this method is very useful in electric traction. There we can use this type of field control method, flux control method. Next one, paralleling field coils. In this method, several speeds can be obtained by regrouping coils. Okay. Next one, variable resistance in series with armature. So by introducing some resistance in series with armature, voltage across the armature can be reduced, so that the speed reduces in proportion with it. So generally we will use this method So here the controlling resistance is connected directly in series with the supply of the motor, and the power loss the power loss in the control resistance of DC series motor can be neglected, because this control method is utilized for a large portion of time for reducing the speed under light load condition. This method of speed control is most economical for constant torque. This method of speed control is employed for DC series motor driving cranes, hoists, and trains, etc. And next one is the series parallel control. This method is widely used in electric traction, where two or more mechanically coupled series motors are employed. For low speeds, motors are joined in series, and for higher speeds, motors are joined in parallel. And next one, when in series, the motors have the same current passing through them, although voltage across each motor is divided. And we know when in parallel, voltage across each motor is same, although current gets divided. So this is how some variable speed conditions we can get from this connection, series parallel control. Again, if we go for from starting, DC motors plays a very important role in energy conversion process, and we know that the machine converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. In mechanical system, speed varies with the number of tasks to spare, so speed control is necessary. It is necessary to do mechanical work in a proper way, and it makes motor to operate easily. And shunt motor, if we take, it is a special type of DC motor. It is a special type of DC motor which runs at constant speed, but using field and armature rheostat control methods, we can make it more versatile. And field rheostat provides above normal speeds, and armature rheostat provides below normal speeds. So by applying both methods simultaneously, we can obtain wide range of speed for different applications. And the main problem with this method is bulky rheostat is required across the armature, so a large amount of power is wasted in controlling resistance, and a poor that is speed regulation results for the lower speed. So now we are limited for lower speed only, but for industrial applications it is more suitable, economic and energy efficient also. We can use such motors in lathes, centrifugal pumps, machine tools, and modern electric drives like that. And this method of speed control is independent of load on the motor, and permits remote control of speed also. And we know the greatest advantage of DC motor is speed control only, and we know that speed is directly proportional to the armature voltage and inversely proportional to the magnetic flux produced by the poles, and adjusting the armature voltage or the field current will change the rotor speed. And we know that speed control means change of speed to a value required for performing the specific work process, and this adjustment should not be taken to include the natural change in speed which occurs due to change in the load on the drive shaft. And the electrical speed control has many economical as well as engineering advantages. So there are so many methods for controlling the speed of a DC shunt motor, but field rheostat control method is more reliable one, economic, and independent of the load on the motor. And this method is only applicable when we want speed which is higher than the normal speed of the motor. And in this method, an increase in controlling in speed in this method an increase in controlling resistance reduces the field current with a consequent reduction in flux and an increase in speed. But if you want to obtain low speed to control the low speed mechanical drive, we use the armature rheostat control method. And in this method, the speed the speed at full load can be reduced to any desired value depending on the amount of resistance. And but if we use both the techniques in same machine, then we can control motor from zero speed to maximum. And whereas in field control, the adjustment can be obtained obtained by means of a small rheostat, and relatively good speed regulation is obtained for all speed. But with the armature control, a bulky resistance is required. So if we use both methods simultaneously, cost of the machine will increase a little bit. So we will get a large range of speed control, and we to neutralize the effect of power loss, heat sink can be used. So this is how the DC shunt motor can be shunt motor speed control is achieved. And terminal voltage and external resistance involve a change that affects the armature circuit. And we have two methods, armature control method and field control methods. And coming to the series motor, we have armature control and field control method. In armature control control DC series motor, we have armature resistance, shunt resistance, shunted armature control method and armature terminal voltage method. And in armature resistance control method, this is a commonly used method. Here the controlling resistance is connected directly in series with the supply of the motor, and the power loss in the control resistance of DC series motor can be neglected, because this control method is utilized for a large portion of time for reducing the speed under light load condition. And this method of speed control is most economical for constant torque, and this is generally used in driving cranes, hoists, trains, etc. Next, coming to shunted armature control, the combination of a rheostat shunting and armature, the armature and the rheostat in series with the armature is involved in this method of speed control. And the voltage applied to the armature is varied by varying series rheostat. The exciting current can be varied by varying the armature shunting resistance. This method of speed control is not economical due to considerable power losses in speed controlling resistance. Here speed control is obtained over a wide range but below normal speeds. This is shunted armature control method. And coming to armature terminal voltage control method also there, that is the speed control of DC series motor can be accomplished by supplying the power to the motor from a separate variable voltage supply. This method involves high cost, so it is rarely used. Next, coming to field controlled DC series motor, field diverter method. Second one is tapped field control method. So this method uses a diverter The field flux can be reduced by shunting a portion of motor current around the series field. Lesser the diverter resistance, less is the field current, and less flux, therefore more speed. This method gives speed above normal, and the method is used in electric drives, where the speed should rise sharply as soon as the load is increased. Okay, next one, tapped field control. This is another method of increasing the speed by reducing the reducing uh, lowering number of turns of the field winding through which current flows. And in this method, a number of tappings from field windings are brought outside. Coming to shunt motor, we have armature control and field control method. In armature control, we have armature resistance and armature voltage control. Armature resistance control, where variable resistance is added to the armature circuit and field is directly connected across the supply, so flux is not changed due to variation of series resistance. This is applied for DC shunt motor. And the next one, armature voltage control. Variable source of voltage separated from the source supplying the field current is needed. This method avoids disadvantages of poor speed regulation and low efficiency of armature resistance control method. And here the basic adjustable armature voltage control method of speed control is by means of some adjustable voltage generator called Ward-Leonard system. And this method involves using a motor generator set, and this method is suitable for steel rolling mills, paper machines, elevators, like that. So this is called a Ward-Leonard system of speed control.